What up, everybody? Welcome back to another session of the Overreaction Show. Gonna talk about that Bucs versus Panthers 1 o'clock Sunday game. Panthers win 23-20. Dogfight game, fighting for first place in division. Still not sealed for either team yet. Both teams got to finish out the game. Bucs have a similar, easier path than the Panthers. They got to play a hot Seattle team. Trying to clinch first place in the NFC, and the Bucs are just trying to clinch to hold on to the fourth division title. And currently at 7-8, just a spiral downward spin due to injuries, due to a lot of things, a lot of intangibles, players, coaching. A lot of everybody deserves some blame in this situation because it's a collective thing. And they all deserve some type of responsibility in all of it. But we'll get to that a little later. Let's get through the boring stuff first. Of course, I always go through the box score. Like I said, 23-20, 7-8, 8-7. Baker, 16 for 26, 145, one touchdown, and a game-sealing losing interception. Bryce Young, 21 for 32, 191, two touchdowns. Bucky Irvin, 19 for 71. Rico Dowdell, 9 for 29. Emeka, one catch, 40 yards. Teddy O. McMillan, 6 for 73 and a touchdown. Emeka led in yards with 2 targets, 1 reception, 40 yards. Mike, 5 receptions for 31 and a touchdown. Godwin, 5 for 30. Cade, 2 for 15. Rashad, 2 for 15. Bucky caught no passes out the backfield, shocking. Levante led the day in tackles, and he got a sack, puts him 3 away from being 5th all-time in sacks for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Savasier Dennis got a sack. That's pretty much it on defense as far as that. Cameron Johnson had a big day on returns, which helped field position a lot in the game, which ultimately made a key factor. So special teams made a key contributor to the game, on a positive note for once. But let's go into there's a lot of things to talk about. We'll talk about the coaching thing and stuff. And I got like some stuff I want to talk about as far as coaching and quarterback stuff that's happened over the years here. And I'll talk about some plays that happened in the game. So first things first, you want to talk about Dean. Dean is a seasoned veteran and has no excuse to make some of the plays he makes. So I'm watching this at before half. Let me get this up here. You're watching this before halftime. It's a zero blitz. You can tell that right out the gate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back is non-factor. If he wants to catch it out the backfield, so be it. But essentially, you're forcing him to throw the ball where you want him to throw it. That's kind of what you want on defense. Then you just make the play. Dean, I have no idea what he's thinking. I have no idea, man. It's simple. So first thing, I don't like how far inside you are. I would just be head up with him. Like I said, and you just kind of funnel him and stay on top of him because if he catches it underneath. There's 12 seconds left in the half. They have no timeout. So catching a pass, this is what you think as a defender. So catching a pass at this point, inside and in front of you and underneath, hurts them. You would want them to make that catch. I wouldn't try to stop him from there, especially because you're just as fast or faster than him. But you play poor technique, you read bad. I don't know what your problem is. But let's look at a lot of things here. Zero blitz, right off the snap. Your feet ain't even moving. Teddy O. McMillan is already full sprint. You taking one step back. He's at a full sprint. I don't know what you're looking at. If you're trying to look at Bryce Young, he's clearly showing he's going to throw to him. Now you finally stepped out and are kind of trying to funnel the receiver to the sideline or whatever you're trying to do. But at this point, you're already beat because you're not at top speed to run with the wide receiver. And I don't know what you were thinking. All you got to do is cut him off and knock the ball down or pick it. You look back inside, knowing the ball's not going to come in there because you're inside of him from the start. And Bryce Young knows that. You were inside. You had inside leverage. So he is not going to throw this ball inside. By you turning your head, you slow your momentum down, which I said before, you already weren't at full stride when Teddy McMillan was already in full stride. Now he's created separation. The ball is thrown outside. You are out of position, and it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. It's easy. It was as easy play to make for a seasoned veteran as anybody could make, especially over there. You made it easy. It'd be one thing if you contested it, and if you contested it, and he just made a great play, then he just made a great play. He just gave up a walk-in touchdown on just bad technique, and you're a seasoned veteran. Like I said, everything that's need to be said about Dean is what needs to be said, and Ron Harper will say it for me.
Right. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Fuck this bullshit.
And he'll be gone next year. He'll be wherever he's going to be next season. And you have to move on with the rookies and probably get another cornerback in there. You have to get some more corner depth on there for that. But it's just no excuse for that whatsoever. And the defense has been bad. It's been bad. It hasn't been that great for years. It's been okay. It's been manageable. But like I said before, with I thought I knew I was missing something. Like I said before, if you're going to put blame on everybody, and yes, you can't have all the success before and then say, oh, it's all Baker when it's good, but when it's bad, it's all Bowles. I'm like, it goes both ways, man. It goes both ways. Your message has got to be consistent. Oh, I'm trying to find that thing. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna get it up here. It can't go both ways. I mean, it's got to go both ways. And that, on top of Jason Light, is responsible for some of it too. I'm trying to get this up here. And why I say that, they all got to take blame. So if you talk about getting rid of Bowles or whatever it is, they all got to take blame, because they all have a part in it. Jason Light knows that pass rush has been a constant problem for this defense for a while, but you continue to ignore it, and it's come to a head this year. Here, I got it here. Like I said in the statement, Jason Light praised Bowles' ability to adapt by saying what Todd Bowles has done with what we have, I think, has been remarkable. Light also described Bowles' performance as a defensive coordinator, particularly in his game plan in Super Bowl against the Chiefs as a Hall of Fame game plan. This demonstrates Light's belief that Bowles has been incredibly successful despite resource limitation, especially when building a defense and adapting to his team with the talent on the field. That is from Jason Light. You can Google that anywhere. That tells you right there that he is acknowledging that you have not given this man the resources to succeed on defense. You go and look at all these other teams. I know you guys watch them. You're like, damn, they can rush for and get to the quarterback. Why can't we? Why can't the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because they don't invest in it. The Falcons went and got 2-3 pass rushers. Remember the Rams at the Super Bowl when they were out of picks and things like that? What did they do? Double up on Jaden Verse, the interior line defensive tackle. They went and loaded up on defense because pass rush is important. And I get you have to score points in this league. I commend Bowles for taking a step back because you have to score points. Offense doesn't have any excuse not to score points. All your stars are on offense. You do not have no big play, big stars on defense. Antoine Winfield's kind of fallen from grace. Vita Vea is the only guy that's been consistent since he's been here. And a lot of people didn't want Vea here. He's the only man that has been consistent since day one. And the defense isn't made for him to get sacks. It's not made for him to do, but he does it himself. And he's running out of time. He's getting older. You're going to have to eventually refine his air, or you're going to have other players around him to help him out. You're wasting his years. That's why every year you can't go, well, it'll be this year. I'm like, you're not guaranteed that somebody's going to be healthy and available next year. You can't. You got to get the stuff that you need when you're available to get it. And I get the money situation and all of that stuff. And that all plays a factor, because I know a lot of you guys are mad that Jason Light let Liam go. Liam is in a better situation in Jacksonville than Canales was when he went to Carolina. I give more praise to Canales than I would Liam, because Canales was in a shit show in Carolina. Liam came to a team that has fully cap collateral, top pick, and an established franchise quarterback. The Panthers didn't have that. So I would give Canales more praise than I would Liam. And there's no telling if Leon will be successful in this system given the situation that you're given. That you're given in Tampa. And Bowles had to dig this team out of there, and he's won divisions through it, regardless of what the division was. I know everybody's so used to now winning, but you got to keep that going. You can't go back to your old ways and expect to keep winning. It does not work. It doesn't work. You owe this man Todd Bowles, regardless you like him because he doesn't make mad and happy faces like your boy Dan Campbell, who's in the same boat as him with more talent. That they make faces, regardless, people don't care. Just as wins or losses, and that's pretty much he's won since he's been here. You owe this man at least another year to get it right before you consider getting rid of him. I know you want to get rid of him even after winning. I get it. So they're finally in a slump and they're in trouble. Now it's all, oh yeah, he's got to go. Like, stop, just stop. Regardless of who it was, you can't just you don't win on inconsistency. You got to keep consistent things there to keep winning, and you keep building until there's one piece that just can't do it. Then you move on from it. But they're in a slump right now. A lot of it because it has to do with defense. The offense should be scoring. Offensive coordinator, I try to give him praise. This dude cannot coach offense at all. You should have hired outhouse like you did the past two coaches, but you tried to keep it in-house, and it ain't working. You can't be somebody else call the offense the way somebody else does when you bring them in. It's not working. You stop giving Bucky Irvin the ball in games. You don't throw to the backs like you used to. It's a total. The defense is literally waiting on the screens. You're not getting the ball to Abuka. You're force feeding the ball to Mike Evans. It's one or the other. So it's either Baker, because the offensive coordinator could call the play, but Baker can make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. So keep that in your head. He can make changes. So if you call a play and you see a defense you don't like, Baker has the ability to change the play. And you might, that's the offensive. I'm like, well, Baker audibled into it. So I mean, that's kind of on him, whatever feels comfortable. And when people break down things, you guys take it just like you take criticism bad. You have no problem giving it to somebody else, but when it comes to your Baker, you can't take it. And I don't know what it is. He predetermines where he's going with the ball. I kind of pointed that out when he first got here, and he's kind of going back to that. Now, granted, trust me, I get that the interior line, both your guards are on IR. Trust me, I like the dude. I'm trying to give him praise, but these are the little things he's just got to fix. And I'm like, I'm not always about, I'll get rid of him and all that. I told you at the beginning of the year, the only concern I have with him is his build. He takes unnecessary hits and damage, and it affects his play. Shoulder injury. Who knows if that still affects him? I don't know. He's not going to mention it. But clearly, since before that, it has not been the same. So something happened. That's what happens where your legs, you can't drive the ball. You're not scrambling like we know. It's all that plays a factor in getting banged up. So since we're talking about Baker, we'll talk about it. So let's look at the play here. There's Baker in the pocket. Mike Evans hasn't came out of his break yet. You have two receivers wide open on the right side. Like I said, he gets locked in to certain players. You have two guys wide open on the 2nd and 9. Wide open. Over here, let's look at the live view from Baker's point of view. This is it. You got two guys to your right, wide open. And he's standing there staring at Mike. He has Mike locked in. He is not interested in the other two guys. And then you scramble away from the guys that are wide open. And then you know what happens next. It's just frustrating to watch. Especially when you see two guys wide open on the right side. That's game if you throw that over there to them. But we try to force the ball to Mike Evans to try to get a record nobody can get, or that they can't get. And this is what happens. Two guys wide open on the right side. Wide open. And we're forcing the ball to Mike. Like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the guy. He competes. He fights hard. That's all I can really ask for. But to try to change coaches out and do all that stuff every year is just crazy. And like I said, I was going to bring that up. So let's talk about that with this bring back Gruden, bring back offensive-minded coach. It don't matter, man. You got to get the guys you need on the field to succeed in this league, man. So let me bring up what I want to bring up. So let's just talk about coaching and quarterbacks and see what I'm saying is important, because clearly if I don't look like other people. People don't think what I'm saying is credible, whatever it is. Whatever your reason is. It's the stuff I say all the time, but you listen to these terrible people who cover this team, and you're pretty much ignorant because you're listening to what their biased opinions are. So we'll start with the top. We'll go since John Gruden won the last Super Bowl here. We'll start with that. So with the John Gruden era from 2002 to 2008, and we'll go 20 plus years since then. So 2022, of course, he comes in after Tony Dungy, 12-4, wins the Super Bowl. The very next year, you go 7-9. The very next year after that, with Brad Johnson, again, 2 years with Brad, 7-9. Third year with Brad, 5-11. So he's degressing. Were y'all hollering to get him fired? Gets a new quarterback, goes 11-5, doesn't do nothing with it. I think they lose to Washington in the playoffs. You go to Chris Sims, go 4-12. That's 2 years with Sims. Then you go to Jeff Garcia, you go 9-7. Then you go Garcia and Greasy, 9-7. Dude's a quarterback guru, right? What quarterback has he developed? Who? Where? Then you go to Raiders. I'm not even going to mention the Raiders. You mentioned Bowles with the Jets, but you won't mention John Gruden with the Raiders. You won't even mention that travesty. And he has one Super Bowl victory as a head coach, and he was 57-55 in that time. 57-55. So the very same things you say about Bowles, but you're happy about Gruden. I wonder why that is. Moving on. Then we go to Raheem Morris era. 2009 to 2011. 3 seasons. Josh Freeman, all of them. You go 3-13, 10-6, 4-12. 10-6, they missed the playoffs on that playoff game. And then that game where they called pass interference on Kellen Winslow when the defensive back was holding his arms down, and they could have won the game. I remember that. I was at that game. Record 17-31. At least Raheem had a consistent quarterback and head coach the entire time. Then the era of Greg Schiano. And mind you can't get no coaches because your carousel here is absolutely terrible. You go Greg Schiano 2012 to 2013. Josh Freeman 7-9. Glennon and Freeman 4-12. Team is disarray. Team hates him. You go 11-21. Then we go to Lovie Smith. He tells you from the jump, I'm going to need 3 years to get this team right. He said that when he got this job. Yeah, we'll do it for you. Okay. We get Josh McCown. He's familiar with him. 2014, they go 2-14. Team is awful. 2015, Jameis Winston, he goes 6-10. You get rid of him. Remember, he said he needed 3 years. You bring in offensive-minded coach, Dirk Stick Carrier Cutter. 2016, Jameis Winston, 9-7. 2017, Winston Fitzpatrick, 5-11. 2018, Winston Fitzpatrick, 5-11. Quarterback, offensive guru. What quarterback did he develop? 19-29 record. Bruce Arians era. Start of, and we'll call it the start of, moving up. Stability. 2019, Jameis Winston, 7-9. Losing season, Bruce Arians' first year. 2020, Tom Brady, 11-5, Super Bowl win with Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator. 2011, 13-4, lost to the Rams. 31-18 with the Super Bowl victory. Bruce has been the most successful guy thus far for good reason. Todd Bowles era. So whether you love him so much, so you wouldn't trust his judgment of character, somebody could do it, so suddenly Bruce doesn't know what the hell he's talking about when it's not convenient to your narrative. Then you go to Todd Bowles era, 2022 to now. Tom Brady, 8-9. We all know that was disarray. Tom didn't want to be here. Talking about the Raiders and all that mess. That's, you believe whatever you want to believe in that situation. Then go to Baker Mayfield. Supposed to be a rebuild year. No cap. You find a way to go 9-8 and win the division. Hold on, let me go to this real quick. Yeah, so you got John Gruden, 7 years, 57 wins, 55 losses. Raheem, three seasons, 17-30 and 31 losses. Greg Schiano, 2 seasons, 11 wins, 21 losses. Lovie Smith, 2 seasons, 8 wins, 24 losses. Dirk Stick Carrier Cutter, 19 wins, 29 losses. Bruce Arians, 31 wins, 18 losses, and Todd Bowles, 27 wins, 23 losses with 3 division titles and a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. So the times that you win is when you have some type of consistency, minus the Arians era, where you went kind of from one quarterback to another, and then it kind of fell to the wayside after that because time was coming to the end. People were getting older, salary cap. It's a lot that plays into that. And then you're trying to rebuild. Remember the whole kick the can down the road thing with contracts, and then it comes back to bite you. You're like, oh well, they bring it back everybody. And I'm like, but it's gonna bite you in the ass later on when you can't sign guys and stuff like that. So what they had to do was rely on draft picks, which they've done, on and off. You've been all right picking offensive players, offensive linemen late in drafts, picking up wide receivers and stuff like that. So your offense is rolling. Your defense is what you kind of neglected, and that's where it's at. And you got a defensive coach that you haven't given the necessary tools to. Now, like I said, you want to make names for people who want stability and all that. I won't get into that because you come up with names with everybody that has to do with a darker skin complexion. But if Todd Bowles had what Tomlin had in Pittsburgh and the defense sucked, I'd be totally on board with you. I'd be totally on board. If he had 2 Hall of Famers on your defensive line, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, then a superstar and Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, Jalen Ramsey, Jerry Porty Jr., you had Darius Slay at one point. You got stars everywhere on the defense, and you're still sucking, I would be with y'all 100. I'd be like, yo, Bulls ain't got no excuse. You got edge rushers that you can rush before, and you still ain't doing nothing back there. Eesh. But Pittsburgh's the opposite. They load up on defense, and they kind of go with the flow with the offense. Bucs have done the opposite. They've gone high power in the offense and, made it work with the defense, which I'm kind of with that a little bit because you do need offense to score and stuff like that, especially people with really good defense. If you're going to lack on the defense, I would rather get guys that are rushing the passer than the corners, because it's been proven fact that look at the Giants versus the Patriots since Super Bowl win. Can you name any of the corners in that Super Bowl when they had that pass rush? You can't, can you? Can't name them. They didn't matter. Well, they did matter, but you get what I'm saying. When you have a pass rush, it's proven fact. Colts. When the Colts won the Super Bowl, you can name Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney. Do you guys remember the corners? You can't, can you? So you don't really need them, a superstar, high-paid corner to succeed. But Bowles, and I when I talk about coaches and what they are and they develop, you can't name a quarterback Gruden developed. You can't name a quarterback that Dirk Cutter developed. But I can name several corner defensive backs that Todd Bowles has developed because he won a Super Bowl as a corner. And he's gotten the best out of those defensive backs without a pass rush, a constant pass rush, without having to blitz. So I think everybody owes this man a little bit of respect, but they all get the blame. They all get the blame. Baker, Bowles, Jason Light, they all share the blame. So if you want to get rid of one, you got to get rid of the other. Jason Light's got to get rid of himself too. He's responsible for a lot of that mess. He's responsible for it. Drafting a kicker in the second round when you could have got an edge rusher or somebody else in there. I mean, it's all hindsight when you know the answers now, but you got to look at everything. And they all share blame. Baker, Bowles, and Light, they all share blame. So if you can't just fire Bowles without firing Light, without cutting Baker Mayfield. They all share blame, all of them. That's what I got. Appreciate you guys and your time with the Overreaction Show. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna do some more reels and stuff and all that. Got the holiday seasons. Merry Christmas to everybody. Feliz Navidad. Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I appreciate you guys always rocking with me for over 10 plus years now, man. And that's what it is. We'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything what you do with your life. What you do with it is entirely up to you. See you guys next time. Peace.